All right, welcome back to the OHmazing podcast, where we are empowering your bottom line one episode at a time. I'm JD with LFG Media Group, and this is
Michael Riley with amazing.com.
Welcome, Michael Riley.
Another day, another episode, right?
Thanks for showing up today on time.
Brother, thanks for coming back.
Yeah, well, I'm already here. So,
Yeah, in case you guys miss a snippet, we do 2 episodes in a day, so it's been like a whole 15 minutes.
Yeah, so it's been a while.
But it's been a week for them.
Yep.
I bet they're anxious to hear.
Yeah, today we are going to, if you saw our last episode, we talked about how we were going to cover LeadsCon 101. And for any of you that don't know what that is, really it's more about conventions.
Yeah, convention 101.
Yeah, convention 101. We're going to talk about the lead type of conventions because that's what we go to. And, been to a few good ones, been to a few bad ones. And, certainly the good ones, we learned a lot. And we're just going to briefly share a lot of that stuff with you guys today. Hopefully, it'll get you excited to go to one or go to the right one and actually help improve your business. It was your first LeadsCon this year. So
Right.
what did you think?
It was nice.
Let me say this actually before he answers. He said to me, and I can't really quote exactly, but you're like, it's a marketing conference. Like, what am I going to do there? I'm an IT guy.
Well, how did I get to LeadsCon?
I told you were going.
Okay. Well, the reason why, there's a little bit of context behind that.
Yeah.
It's like,
And that was on purpose.
Right.
I said I bought you a ticket for LeadsCon, which is about, I think at the time it was like $1,600.
right.
And I said, you're going. He's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if it's for me. I said, it's for you. Get a freaking plane ticket and get out there.
Yeah.
And this dude actually killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were zigging and zagging to that LeadsCon. You actually did it better than I do it.
Well, I mean, I wanted to there was a lot there that I went there with some distinct goals,
Same. And you have to. That's another thing. You have to go there you have to have a plan.
Right.
On why you're there instead of just floating. And I'll share, I've done both.
Right.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mike.
No. It's, in the context, you're right. Cause it was like, well, what am I, cause I normally go to, industry, something that's related to IT. Mm-hmm. And I almost have gotten to a point to where I don't even really want to, a lot of the times it's not even worth me going to, cause it's usually like a sales pitch. Mm-hmm. And, you're always going to hear some level of pitch there.
Absolutely.
But I was very intrigued at LeadsCon because one of the things that I wanted to do was be pitched.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went there as a mark.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had some goals, right? Where we had some deficiencies, and this kind of led into amazing. If you guys had listened last week, if you haven't, go back and no. But if this is your first episode, and you came from Amazing Entrepreneurs, JD has a marketing company. I have a technology company, and we started working together to generate revenue for our own businesses and other clients as well. And it works out well because you do a lot of the marketing, the first part, the front end of it. And then, I know a lot about the process stuff. And combining those two things, it's really kind of,
developers go hand in hand with marketing these days.
Oh my gosh.
Because there's so much in way of APIs.
Yeah.
Process building, like you're saying, CRM builds, automation, AI, like all that stuff. If you're a marketer nowadays and you don't have developers that you trust and can work with, you're at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
It's going to hard to be competitive.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Well, it's hard to stay relevant, right?
Yeah.
And it was intriguing because I wanted to know the industry and going to something that I'm not already going to walk in and hear what I already need to know about it. Like I've heard some really bad where it's like, man, if you are at this industry, if you're at this event and you're giving me this information, like you should be fired,
Yeah. I mean, I didn't, luckily I didn't hear that at LeadsCon this year. One of the things I accidentally walked into, I didn't even realize, I guess because I just forgot to read whatever the event was about, but I walk in, sit down, and there's like all these contractors around us.
Right.
I'm like, what's up with all these contractors, you know?
Right.
And then of course the presentation is about marketing for contractors, but
Right.
you know, like this is one of the things about LeadsCon that was great because, or really if you go to the right convention, because sure, I walked into something that's really, you know, I do have one contractor that we do marketing for, but I learned so much. I probably learned almost more in that one lecture than all of LeadsCon.
Right.
And it had stuff that had nothing to do with what I normally target, but I learned so many I got some really cool ideas how I could translate that into the markets that I am working in.
Right.
So that was cool. So then you had a similar experience. I mean, didn't you
My-
even get up there and
Yeah,
grab the microphone?
Yeah, we were talking about AI. You know, AI is like the big buzzword. You know,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
it's a cloud of 2024, and like I'm by no means like an AI expert. I don't work in and around um, the actual field enough to be an AI guy, but I know how it works at a high level, and I know when it's not AI. You know, and
Everything's AI now.
well, everything's marketed as
Yeah.
or branded as AI, and it's not necessarily AI at all.
Well, and AI has been around for much longer than people have been talking about
They
it.
called it machine learning.
Exactly.
yeah.
Like Google Ads, for
Right.
instance, automated bidding. Now it's like, now you train your AI model.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Yeah,
Just calling it,
they're
you
just
just got to
calling-
keep up with the right buzzwords.
Right. And, a lot of times I ask myself, hey, should this, in any organization, period, should be asking themselves when it comes to AI, should this be a database or do I actually need an AI? Because there's going to be costs there and there's regulations that you got to comply to. And so the question that they were asking was, how is AI going to, what should we be doing right now as, and lead generation, by the way, is not necessarily inbound marketing. A lot of it's outbound marketing or, form fills and stuff like that. So, but how should we be leveraging AI as a lead as a lead generation company or someone who is looking to harness or generate leads for their own company or like construction or something like that. So the thing that I was looking at is and we talked about like what amazing revenue is going to be basically it's a prospecting or a lead generations for business to business as opposed to a lot of LeadsCon was like B2C, so business to consumer. So it's really good for that, but it's the same knowledge set kind of you can apply. It's just a different audience that you're pitching it to.
Yeah.
But where I was talking about like AI and got to go up there and talk to them is because like they were talking. It was like, look, guys, if you have a phone call center, right? There's some, and we got a partner that we're working with, Ready.io, that has they basically transcribe the phone
Who is
calls.
it?
Ready, REDDY.io, and we'll drop a little plug.
Plug.
Yeah, a little bit of a plug.
Unpaid sponsor?
Unpaid sponsor, but very dear friend, and so we are leveraging
good at what they do, too.
we're leveraging them in our own organization. And so whenever you have some sort of script in which you're talking to somebody, and anybody who has a call center and doesn't have a script, you should go back to the drawing board, right? Listen to Process 101. But it's something to give someone you can quickly train and have them talk down and solve the challenge that they're trying to solve. And a script helps guide the journey through it to the most effective way possible.
And you don't have to be a call center
Yeah.
to need a script either.
Right. You don't have, you don't have to,
Even appointment setters.
right. And it's
Scripts.
Yeah. You have something to build off of. Right. And the way Ready does it is they take all these transcriptions. So say you make 10,000 calls, right? After you've been doing this for a while, right? And you have the script. Well, what AI does is it starts learning based on interactions using a set principle, like a script, right? So if you have the same conversation 1,000 or 10,000 times in the example I just said, eventually that AI model is going to tell you what to say based on how the interaction's going at a live clip, right? And that's where you're
Super valuable.
that's leveraging AI.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
the way it should be used.
I heard all sorts of stuff, AI chat bots or whatever. It's not a chat bot. Like if it can only answer 5 questions and it gives you have a database, hey, based on, do you want to talk about your account balance? Do you want
that's
to make
not
a
AI.
payment?
Yeah,
That's not AI.
Pre-written.
That's a
Pre-written
database.
it's pre-written responses. If you say this, say this.
Right.
If this, then that.
Yeah. AI has to be learning. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's learning and developing a model in which it can adapt based on, whatever the parameters that has been given. But, to me, that's an effective way to use AI, not like some marketing nonsense that you
We should do an
guys.
episode on that, just talking about how we leverage it, all that
Right.
stuff.
Right.
So, well, tell me about LeadsCon. Tell me what you thought. Like, what would you say the number one thing was that you learned at LeadsCon, or
Uh,
the best takeaway? You could be either one.
really the best takeaway for me is I feel really good about our own prospecting company because I saw there's different ways in which you can outbound and generate stuff, and I was really wanting to do some research on it, and B, I want to make sure that whatever we do, we have a compelling and effective. I want to go to market with the best iteration that we can first, and be doing all the easy stuff first,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's like phone calls, emails, SMS text messaging, and ringless voicemail and LinkedIn.
LinkedIn's huge.
Yeah, and
I used to hate LinkedIn.
I still do.
I mean, I used to think it's like Peacock.
Yeah,
it's like
it is.
Peacock
It's-
Central. Like, oh, I'm so excited to mention today that I was
Virtue
promoted
signal.
to head janitor.
And then I
up.
declined my promotion to see. Yeah, I declined my $50,000 bonus.
I know, but now I honestly, I've actually noticed lately I've been checking LinkedIn more than anything else.
Right.
I mean, I'm not on social media a whole lot anymore. I just don't have the time. But like LinkedIn, because I've been prospecting on there, so
Right.
I find myself checking it
And learning.
like a crackhead.
Right,
It's like,
because that's why I like partnering with you, is because like somebody that I don't ever have to worry about working as much as, and not
Yeah.
really working, but caring as much as I do.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, this and this.
I never want to work for anybody ever again.
Yeah.
So,
But nobody.
that's-
How many people care as much as you?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, how many business, it's a rare breed to work with someone who really is in it and they're passionate. They enjoy what they do. They love their business. They love being an entrepreneur, and they love.
There's a couple guys that I work with, CEOs that are clients,
Right.
that are just
You want to be around those guys.
yeah,
Right?
like Paul.
Yeah.
From Paul Alexander from Northbound is one of my bigger clients. Guy's super passionate about his business.
Right.
He's actually, I'm going on a fishing trip with him and another client
Nice.
next month in California. We're going out for 4 days in the middle of the ocean, bluefin tuna fishing.
Beautiful.
That's the type of clients I want to work with, man.
Well-
They just get it. They're cool. And they're hard to come by. It's hard to come by people that are, like you said, that are truly about their business.
Right.
Truly get it.
Right. And, that was my goal of going out there, was to, be effective, because like, and I like working with and surrounding myself with people who get it and want it, and I think I learned a lot, and I felt, and some of the base stuff, like I knew, like, hey, we want to do these things, but I learned a lot about ways to do it better in the right way, which is what you're like, hey, all right, well, we're gonna do that, but we're going to do it the right way too. Because you can get in murky water too.
Yeah.
Ethics. Who needs ethics? No, but like, no. I'm playing.
How many souls do we need?
Yeah.
Middle world.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But I learned a lot about that. I learned a lot about I envision myself a data guy, and I love.
That's why I thought it would be good for you.
Yeah,
I
well,
like that you went there, because like taking that mindset,
yeah.
and then seeing how you are a marketer, you just didn't realize it.
Yeah.
And then like being able to like say, hey, like I'm a data guy, and then you see everything through a marketing lens.
Right.
Dude, it's like the lights went on for you.
Oh, I
It was like,
I love
you were
the day.
like,
Because
I got a backpack full. I've talked to 42 vendors. I'm like, God, I'm taking a nap, dude. Calm down.
Well,
I'm wiped out.
Well, it's like I wanted to hit them all up, and I wanted to get their card and then evaluate. Because, like, realistically, to me, it was an opportunity for me to connect and learn about stuff that I needed to know about in order to be successful in our venture, right?
Yep.
And the data was, to me, marketing decisions and like decisions in general, is driven by the data that you take the time to collect into or record. and then you can do stuff with it. It may not be like perfect, but you can start making decisions on like, you know, contact rate.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm prospecting to somebody, what's my, you know, it's a simple thing, but like, you know, does your lead generation company give you a contact rate? No, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To where it's like, hey, what is to me, a contact rate is where I get some level of decline, yes or no,
Yeah.
right?
Are you getting through to people?
Am I talking to someone, even if they're declining? You know, because the higher that percentage is, the more chance that I have to close. Because prospecting is already like it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
And when you say numbers game,
You
you
gotta get
better
a lot of no's.
you gotta get a lot of no's to get the yeses. But the beautiful part about prospecting is once it's working and you figured it out, there is no real like the barrier is like, so I mean the faucets just keep spinning because you're limited by your market. So like, is it America? You know, how many businesses, you know, it's real, you know,
Business size, you move into bigger businesses, move into different geos,
yeah,
move into different industries.
yeah, because inbound marketing is a super useful tool. I think they both have all marketing has like some level of effectiveness of like bringing people in, you know, and I love the idea of, and I can appreciate, like, if I was buying a company, I would say, hey, a good question. If you're looking to buy a company, you should say, hey, how do you generate revenue? And if they don't have a solid answer and being like, hey, look, I know that we do this and we just make, you know, we spin the dial and it just like, and we turn the faucet on each month that I get X amount, that's when forecasting starts coming into play. That's when you have an asset.
There's a lot of clients I've taken on in the past. You take them on and it's like, where's all your business coming from? I don't know. We get these phone calls. Where are the calls coming from? I don't know. Like, there's no tracking set up. Like, there's like, which is probably going to change a little bit with Google's
The cookies?
deprecating third-party cookies this year. But right now, and what I've been using, like Call Tracking Metrics is a platform that allows us to put some code on a website, and you can see exactly where everybody came from on your site. Did they come from your LinkedIn profile? Did they come direct? Did they come from organic? And the value of that is enormous, and that goes hand in hand with what you're talking about on the data piece. On the outbound prospecting, you're looking at, you want to know like what was said, what script worked, which email worked, and being able to have eyes on and like visibility of that is super important, because you need to know what money is working and what money isn't working.
Right.
So,
and to answer your initial question, what was my goal there? I had 3 goals. One, I wanted to, iron out like a plan for each of we have like the amazing revenue is going to be revenue as a service, but it really starts with the prospecting piece. And then we offer sales as a service as well, right? So if you want to go from the marketing into the sales, we can do that for you. We can literally generate revenue for you as a service, if you're a B2B client. But from the prospecting piece of like, because that's something that I don't know enough about. Let's go out there and learn. So let's see what people who are paying to come to this place to put up a booth, what are they pitching about it? So I learned a little bit about each one of these places.
Yep.
And then the second part was the data. I wanted to find out different ways I can improve the data, because one of the challenges with prospecting is you got to make sure you're asking the right people to buy from you, because and the data sources that you get, there's innumerable amounts of them. It's like, which one's better than the other, and how are you going to evaluate that? Because we have our own data set, but like we could always.
You can get smoked on data.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's a lot of garbage
that's
data.
a whole other, we could have a whole episode on data.
We probably, eventually,
Probably will.
yeah, definitely will. I heard another episode, like we definitely have to have a conversation or an entire episode dedicated to what do I do when, third-party cookies are deprecated.
I know, and that's that scares the hell out of me as a marketer. I mean, I was out at Google's campus at Playa Vista. This was like a month ago. I was at an event called High Quality Leads, and that was really like that was the biggest topic.
Right.
What do you do? They have these like different things that they've implemented, that hashing systems, and you connect through APIs and you can put code on the website, and the hashing thing sounds very, very similar to cookies, but called something different. But anyway, being in the healthcare niche, it's like a double whammy because there's HIPAA protection and I'm not going to go down that road right now, but the third-party cookies thing it's concerning, but there's been many things that have happened in the marketing
You gotta
path.
be flexible.
That's what I'm saying. Like I remember, like for Google Ads, when broad match modified, which is a keyword match type, went away, I was like, oh my God, I'm done. I'm never like that's my whole strategy was broad match modified, and now I think back and I'm just like and it's even changed this past year. So, yeah, to be flexible in marketing and business is huge.
Yeah, and
So.
that's I think that and that's some of the value you're going to get from listening to this is because as a bro, I'm busy making my IT. I don't know anything about there's not enough time in the day for me to really understand things that I may need to consider to adjust my my strategy there.
Yeah.
And you have to.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's Y2K, baby, it's coming.
Oh, it's happening.
Chris, you remember Y2K? No, yeah, our producer back here.
He wasn't even born.
Yeah, we're at the podcast.
Oh, no, he was born. Yeah, you were born.
Barely.
He's wearing diapers though.
Yeah, he's a little hatchling. So
A little hatchling. Oh man. Well, yeah. I mean, LeadsCon was it was great to see you go there. It's great to see you take it all in.
Yeah.
I've been to many of these these events in the past, like affiliate summits and whatnot, and I've squandered the opportunities there. I went there. I would just meet with clients, and then we would just go have fun because it's Vegas.
Yeah, well, it is fun.
It is fun. I mean,
What type of fun?
when you're in Vegas, it's all about. I mean, my opinion is about eating great food. Some people like to gamble. I know it's super boring, but I don't gamble much.
Womp womp womp. No, the food is delicious.
I mean, if you're a big drinker, you can have a great time there too. But the food we ate at Mike and I went to this place. It was called A by Jose Andres. It was super hard to get a reservation there.
Fogwa.
Yeah, Fogwa.
Fogwa.
No, that was like the highlight of the trip for me. Besides the convention itself,
Right.
We got to, it was like a tasting thing. It was 25 course. That stuff's cool to do.
Yeah, it's cool to do on, but it should be a part of the convention.
Yeah.
And if, the final thing I was looking for is to, actual talent to hire,
Oh yeah, you found it.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, we found that we didn't want it. It was, it's funny because I took all these cards and I just adopted the strategy. I had two pockets. I had the pocket of people that I was going to, reach out and book appointments
that's
to,
interesting.
and then I had a pocket of people I was just being polite and shaking their hands and getting their card. Right?
Wow, you were polite.
Sometimes.
How was that?
It costs nothing to be a decent person, JD. Take a note, all right? But
It does for you.
it's a challenge for me.
No, but that's a good idea though.
Yeah.
Put two pocket. I just put it all in one pile and I sorted it out when I got home.
Yeah, well, that's and because the problem with that was I wanted to hit every booth because I wanted to make sure that I talked to all the data people. I wanted to make sure that we had our options because we had a lot riding. I mean, we had a lot riding on what we're building. Mm-hmm. It took a lot for we took precious time away from our schedule even to record this podcast. We're so busy. Didn't even have time to really prep, but you have to do these things and go through it.
Mm-hmm. LeadsCon was one of them.
LeadsCon was one of them. It was
repetitions.
It was a strong experience, but what I've known since I've gone through some of these conferences now is what to not do. I don't know if I'm going to another. I mean, I may go to. I'm very choosy in which I go to. You know what I am thinking about going to, and if you guys aren't thinking about this is a revenue tip for you. Go to a convention of your target market.
Absolutely,
right?
That is super smart. There's an industry that I'm trying to move into, and they have a convention once a year,
right?
And it's super expensive to get into it.
Yeah, but they're literally there's your target market.
I know.
Why are you going to an IT convention when you can?
Unless you're trying to learn something, though.
There's some.
That's the great thing about LeadsCon was not only do we make a lot of great connections, but I learned a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some of it that was kind of repetitive, but it definitely got me thinking, just little things how to structure blog posts better so that they're not your typical like text and boring stuff. I got some really good ideas for that. The connections we made for the call center stuff, outsourcing. Like I've never outsourced a call center overseas before.
Right.
We're doing that right now.
Right.
With all the things that we learned. So you definitely take away a lot from that.
Right. And you can't, and that's not to crap, but it's really if your time is expensive, my time's expensive. I am a constraint to my business. So like if I go and do something like it's, yeah, you can have fun or whatever, but at the end of the day, your business is only going to go as far as you take it, especially as the leader, or one of the leaders in your organization, it's your department, focus, to me, that's what I'm looking at convention wise is where can I buy a booth that makes sense?
Yep.
If I'm a MSP or basically outsourced IT and managed service department, right? If I'm an MSP that targets the, accountants, CPA firms, maybe I go to a CPA, a number cruncher convention. Is that what they call them?
Yeah, that sounds
number crunching 101. Tax strategy.
Yeah. Oh my God, that would be a fun one. Do they have those?
I don't know. I could stand to learn there. Like that's another deficiency.
Well, you're a convention guy. I feel like you're like a chameleon. You just fit right in. That's why you did good at LeadsCon.
I'm not though. See,
well, no, I'm actually an introvert for the most part.
I'm an IT guy. I'm definitely an introvert.
I hate being on camera. I shouldn't say
we call him the mayor. Like he's the type of guy. If you ever jump on the elevator with JD and then somebody else jumps on every single time. How's it going? Good. You having a good day? Yeah. How about this elevator? Oh my gosh, the 25th minute. It's like
I got a client in the elevator at LeadsCon. We got in, the guy looks at me and I looked at him and I was like, "Hey man, what's going on?" And he's like, "Hey, do you sell these type of leads?" And I was like, "Wow, yeah, I do." What's up, dude?
Right.
We started talking. Actually, I'm in the middle of talking to their company now about it. But yeah, I don't know. Like I think you have to be like that.
No, you don't.
Well,
no, you don't. I mean, you could just let the.
Well, no, but I mean, the point I was trying to make is like going to conventions. I absolutely hate networking. I feel like a lot of it's, kind of peacocking.
Oh yeah.
And that might just be in my head.
No, you're right.
Yeah, a lot of it's peacock. It's like I just want to deal with people that are real. I want to have real conversations. I don't want to every time I turn around I'm getting hit with a sales pitch. I didn't feel like that at LeadsCon this year. It felt like the people I did meet and the people I did talk to, they were meaningful connections that were made.
Yeah,
and I'm just like doing things that are uncomfortable is where usually I've found the most growth, especially like social media reels, video, like that's, the first time I was ever on camera, I think was on this podcast.
Really?
Not this one, but a while ago.
Yeah, like 6 months ago.
I remember like feeling my face was on fire, like sweating.
Right.
Like, and, nobody cared. I'm fine.
Now look at you, co-host.
Yeah.
What
are we looking at?
Oh yeah.
What were we looking at?
Right. Christian on the ones and twos. He's falling asleep at the wheel over there. But yeah, it's what about the what makes a successful conference for you? I know you talked about a little bit of the strategy and you heard or whatever. What were your goals for the conference?
Honestly, one of my biggest goals for that conference, once you said you were coming, was for you to get unlocked.
Okay.
So that was a big goal of mine, or at least just to see the marketing world.
Right.
And then same thing for the Paladin project that we've been working on.
Yeah.
I wanted to make, I wanted to learn, I wanted to make connections because the B2B thing is new to me. Even though that conference really wasn't about B2B.
Right.
We definitely made some good connections for that.
Well, I mean, one of the big things, the compliance piece. We learned a lot about the, how to do it, and I jokingly said ethics, but like ultimately, if you ever spend any amount of time with JD, I'm not going to say it for I know where I stand, but I'll let somebody else, but doing the right thing's important to you. And like doing it the right, it's like, I don't need to cheat I want to have a company that I'm proud to go to, where I have a solid, it's like,
Oh, man.
what's the price? Here's the price. And I'll tell you why. Am I the cheapest person on the block? Absolutely not.
Nope.
Am I the best on the block? You're damn right.
Yep. Absolutely.
And part of that kind of comes through on like, prospecting. It's like, hey, I'm doing you a service by telling you, and I firmly believe that you guys don't know what you're missing with us, because I know we can have an impact on your organization.
Just need time.
Yeah. It takes. Well, it's
Any
like
any marketing.
any marketing.
Yeah.
Like
That's
you
a
have to-
that's one of the hardest things with clients.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about B2C, but B2B, everything. It's everybody wants results immediately, and I get it. I want the same thing when I do marketing for myself. But luckily, I know how it goes, and you just invest. I think you said it. What you invest today pays off hopefully in 90 days to 6 months from now.
Yeah.
And you just gotta just keep doing it over
And
reps.
if you can't stop,
Can't stop.
can't take a day off.
And
You take a month off, it's going to impact you. 90 days from now, you're going to be like, man, why does my pipeline suck?
Like if you're not investing, if you're not putting money into marketing, you need to figure out where money's going out of your business and plug that hole and put it towards marketing. And I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to drum up marketing business, but if you're not promoting your business in any type of way, you're never going to like grow it. Maybe that's okay with some people.
Some people don't want growth.
Yeah, like we talked about in the last episode.
Yeah, and that's a true story. So, we're running low on time. But what I think that, when I think about like conventions, it's going there with a plan.
Yep.
Making sure that and then when you walk away from that, following through with it. It's crazy, dude. I got so many. My pocket of business cards. And not only that, but like I got it out and I made sure to follow up with all these companies because I wanted to learn what I needed to learn from them.
Yeah, even if you're not buying from them.
Yeah, and a lot of it,
information.
a lot of it was, and we'll talk about that whenever we get to a prospecting episode where we talk about like how to prospect effectively. But I learned that incorporating a lot of these ideas from these other companies and putting it into one thing is going to make you just way above and beyond, because most people are very average. Most companies are very average. I'm reading a book, Good to Great, right now. What's the difference between a good company and a great company, right?
Yep.
How do they make that leap? And it's by doing, market research and learning these things and reaching out. And it's so crazy. They paid to go there, and I got so many non-responses from vendors.
Did you really?
Bro, you're fired. If you work for me and we have a booth.
Wait, you called them or emailed them and then just like
No response.
Wow, that's surprising.
Multiple of them.
Because it is not cheap to get out there.
Multiple of them, man.
Wow.
Where I'm like, I'm a legitimate opportunity to buy services.
So they went from
you.
the left pocket to the right pocket.
They put themselves there.
Put them in the garbage.
Yeah. And if you're a salesperson that works for me and someone comes to me and says, hey, I potentially want to buy from you, and you don't even respond to them, I don't care if you're my best friend, you're fired.
I don't even understand that mentality.
Me either. It's just like unexcited to me. It's like it's egregious, because if it happened there, what's going to prevent it from happening again?
Yeah.
Or when has that happened before that I didn't know about? So
my biggest takeaway, and then I'm going to let you close it out, is from LeadsCon, or my biggest advice for any convention, especially LeadsCon. But make sure you hit as many seminars as you can, even if you don't feel like they're relevant to your industry. You'll learn something if your ears are open.
Yeah.
So
attend.
Attend. Just go there, check it out. I mean, the first time or two you go, you're going to learn what not to do and what to do, and you just get better at it. So that's all I got. I'm going to let Mike take it out.
Yeah, man.
Shut
You
it
brought
down.
it in. I'm going to shut it down. They call me the closer, baby.
They don't call him that at all, ever.
They call me in when they want the results, right?
Yeah.
So
same thing. They don't do that.
you know what? I hope.
I'm just kidding.
Again, thank you so much for attending, watching, listening, wherever you hear us on Spotify, YouTube, all these channels. We got all sorts of exciting things coming down the pipe. We're going to have ways you can interact with us, ask questions. We're going to have different episodes. We got a lot planned for it, including a website. You've been amazing listeners thus far, and we look forward to building your revenue together, right? We're going to have this journey. So once again, my name is Michael Riley from Amazing Tech. My friend here is Jonathan Daniele from LFGmediagroup.com, signing off from the Amazing Podcast, Top Pod You like that top pod?
Top pod. Ooh.
Top pod. Love you guys. Have a great week. Thanks.
See ya.